It's green, can be easily hidden, and often isn't easy to share. If you think you know what I'm talking about, you're probably wrong. I'm talking about marijuana. Do I have your attention now? For over 40 years, the nonprofit organization Norml has been working to help legalize recreational and medical use of marijuana in our country. I talked to the executive director, Patrick Nightingale of Pittsburgh's chapter of Norml, and found out what he has to say about the organization and which political leader best suits its needs. Take a look.
Our mission is the complete repeal of marijuana prohibition and to promote responsible adult recreational use, to promote marijuana for medicinal purposes, and to promote industrial hemp. In 2009, Pennsylvania introduced its first medicinal marijuana bill, and quite literally I almost drove off the side of the road. I could not believe that we finally had that type of legislation pending in Pennsylvania. So I contacted the bill sponsor and Philly Norml, and ultimately decided that what we could do is start a subchapter here in Pittsburgh, because otherwise there was no activism in our region whatsoever. Unfortunately, both bills are stalled in committee. Both of the committee chairs are Republicans and unfortunately are tacking to that socially conservative line that marijuana is a dangerous, illegal drug that ruins children and leads to addiction, and the typical myths that we typically confront. Additionally, Governor Corbett, former Attorney General and Republican Governor of Pennsylvania, has said that any medicinal marijuana bill, in his opinion, is dead on arrival. The option, however, is to give up, and we don't believe that's a reasonable option. Dr. Paul's approach to narcotics reform is really in line with law enforcement against prohibition, and it's a position that says we must fundamentally rethink the war on drugs because it has been an utter and abysmal failure. 40 years on and billions and billions and billions of dollars later, we see that it has been a complete and utter failure. Younger generations of politicians are now getting into office, and easily within the next 10 to 20 years, we will have a generation of policymakers who understand that the just say no and the war on drugs and all these scare tactics that have been perpetuated for the past 40 years really are kind of ridiculous. And people who I think can very reasonably say, if alcohol is legal with all of its attendant problems, then why are we wasting any money on law enforcement for marijuana, which is non-addictive? You can't overdose it from it, and I've never seen anyone get into a fight on the South Side because they were too stoned.